to me, Miss Fairfax, that I'm trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have many other calls of a similar characters to make in the neighborhood.
Ernest, my own Ernest.
Gwendolyn, darling.
A moment. May I ask if you are engaged to be married to this young lady?
To dear little Cicely? Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may.
I knew there must be a misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. This gentleman whose arm is at present round your waist is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon?
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack? Oh.
Hey, Ernest! A moment, Ernest. May I ask you, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what young lady? Good heavens, Gwendolyn!
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn.
Of course not! What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you, you may.
I felt there was some slight error, Miss Cadu. The gentleman who is now embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Algernon Moncrief? Are you called Algernon?
I cannot deny it. Is your name really John?
I could deny it if I liked. I could deny anything if I liked. But my name certainly is John. It has been John for years.
A gross deception has been practiced in both of us.
My poor wounded Cecily.
My sweet wrong, Gwendolyn.
You will call me sister, will you not?
There is just one question I would like to be allowed to ask my guardian.
An admirable idea. Mr. Worthing, there is just one question I would like to be permitted to put to you. Where is your brother Ernest? We are both engaged to your brother Ernest, so it is a matter of some importance to us to know where your brother Ernest is at present.
Gwendolyn, Cecily, it is very painful for me to be forced to speak the truth. It is the first time in my life that I have ever been reduced to such a painful position, and I am really quite inexperienced in doing anything of the kind. However, I will tell you quite frankly that I have no brother Ernest. I have no brother at all. I never had a brother in my life, and I certainly have not the smallest intention of ever having one.
No brother at all?
None.
Had you never a brother of any kind?
Never. Not even of a kind.
I'm afraid it is quite clear, Cecily, that neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
It is not very pleasant position for a young girl to suddenly feel to find herself in, is it?
Let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to come after us there.
No, men are so cowardly, aren't they?
This ghastly state of things is what you call been-bearing, I suppose.
Yes, a perfectly bunbury it is. The most wonderful bunbury I have ever had in my life.
Our group see this part of the play as an opportunity to see the shallow and hypocritical nature of the characters, even though they come from the upper class, which is supposed to be filled with well-educated and well-mannered people. This can be seen through the previous dialogue where Gwendolyn and Cecily were fighting, but their behavior later changed and they acted like sisters again. We think that this part is iconic and significant as it reveals the truth about Ernest to the girls, marking the climax of the play. Also, it emphasizes the power relation between men and women during that time, when men were presented to take everything for granted and do everything as they pleased, while women were portrayed to be emotional and dramatic. We think that this scene shows how shameless the male characters can be. After telling the girls that Ernest is not real, they can still act casually like nothing happened. Meanwhile, the girls took this situation seriously, as shown by how mad and upset they were. Even though not long after this part, the girls could forgive the male characters so easily. We also think that this scene shows how women's intelligence is portrayed to be lower than men's. Even though the female characters from the upper class are privileged enough to acquire education, the men always manipulate them so easily.